So when I volunteered for Project Trust, it really was a continuation of a volunteering journey that I was already on. So when I was 14, 15, I used to volunteer to help a lady with various disabilities who lived in a village, I guess, for people with disabilities. And I used to help do her shopping and do some cleaning for her once a week. So when I came to decide on what to do on my gap year, there was really no question for me. I wanted to see the world, but I also wanted to see the reality of the world, and I wanted to do volunteering. And Project Trust ticked that box for me. And it's really been a milestone for me in my volunteering journey. When I came back to the UK, I studied at university, and it just so happened that SOS Villages, who I had volunteered with in Chile, had a base in Cambridge, which was where I was studying. So the first thing I did in my first year was I approached them to see if there was something I could do to help. And I did some volunteering with them in their office. And so it's continued through my life that Project Trust and volunteering have been a huge part of it. I moved back to Chile after graduating, and I lived there for over 10 years. And throughout my time in Chile, the first thing I did when I got to Chile was contact Project Trust to see if there was anything I could do to help. I started off as deputy rep. I then, when the rep moved on, took over from her and was rep. And I used to remember seeing the volunteers arrive, and every year I'd be met with the same enthusiasm, the same excitement, and all those memories of me landing when I was 18 came flooding back. I'm now back in the UK. I try and do my bit for Project Trust, but I also volunteer with other charities. So I do a lot with the Scouts, which is a fantastic organisation. I also supported a charity called Limbcare, which is a local charity for amputees. So Project Trust really has been with me since I was 18, and it continues to be part of my life now. And for me, volunteering is something I've always done, and I can't imagine life without volunteering in there somewhere. Volunteering with Project Trust has meant that my children have been exposed to volunteering right from birth. They used to accompany me when I had to go and pick up the volunteers when they were first getting off the plane. We used to have the various country reps come and stay at our house. John Fraser came to stay at our house, and Nicholas still reminds me that he's been promised a sail up in Cole, which is something I must come up and do. We used to have yearly barbecues for the volunteers, and both of my children used to absolutely love the attention of all of these 18-year-olds wanting to give them some love and attention. So hopefully it's instilled in them that volunteering is important. Hopefully it's instilled in them a bit of wanderlust, and when they're older they'll be applying to go on a gap year too. And the biggest thing that it's done is made them realise that there is something they can do, no matter how young they are. And for the pandemic, my eldest son decided to write a cookbook to raise funds for a charity in Chile, providing food to people who were really struggling over the various lockdowns. So Project Trust has definitely had a long-lasting impact on my children.
Hi, my name is Nicholas and I'm Chilean. When I was little living in Chile, my mum was a rep for Project Trust, and as well as helping with the volunteers, she helped with different projects. I have fond memories of the volunteers coming to my house and having a barbecue and lots of fun. When Chile went into lockdown, I wanted to do something to help, and those young volunteers were still at the back of my mind. I couldn't be there, but I raised money for a charity in Chile by writing and selling the cookbook.
So one of the lovely things about being a Project Trust rep in the country is that you get to see the longevity of certain projects. And there were projects that that actually had survived from when I was a volunteer, you know, some 20 years later. And it's so lovely when you go around the different projects to see the enthusiasm that these charities in Chile, in this case, had for Project Trust. They used to really form a tight bond with the volunteers and really miss them when they went. But, you know, that sadness was also met with, you know, the enthusiasm of knowing that, you know, more volunteers would be coming, that the good work would carry on. And for some of these projects, be they schools, be they projects, thinking of one of the projects in Chile, which was with people who had disabilities, learning disabilities, and you know the impact of having volunteers, their enthusiasm, the time that the volunteers could spend with the individuals, which perhaps sometimes the teachers couldn't do, really made a huge difference. And I think, you know, when I was a volunteer and you're only there for a year and you come in and you come out and you get so much as a volunteer because, you know, your hosts are so lovely, they welcome you in, they, you know, help you for the homesickness that perhaps you feel at the beginning. And I think you sometimes lose sight of the fact that you're part of the journey for that charity. And it was so lovely being a rep to be able to see the impact that volunteers had and perhaps didn't realise that they were having. But really, you know, powerful to see how the life of the project, you know, was much more than the sum of the individual parts and the individual volunteers that had been there.